Yes, well, my father was born in Slieverue. They had a pub in Slieverue. And when he married my mother, she was a Grace from Glenmore. And they bought a pub in the Mile Post, and that's where I was born. But the origin of the family was probably Glenmore and Slieverue. Like my grandfather was born in Glenmore, and he came to Slieverue as he married his mother was they owned the pub in Slieverue previous to that, and they were O'Mara's, and but the O'Mara's were they had no land. They just had the pub and the ground there, but he was a ship's carpenter. That's what he a shipwright he was. He built. I have some of his tools all the time. But they worked on the slip below on Ferrybank where the shipbuilding was. That's where he worked. So that was the start of the family. That's as far back as I can go on it. But
and so you come from a long line of publicans then?
Well, yeah, yes.
And what was it like then to be born into a pub?
Well, I didn't like pub work. I didn't. I hated the pub. My father was like when my grandfather came to Slieverue to take over the place in Slieverue. Like they bought between themselves and Donovan's. They bought a place belonged to Galway's. Galway's owned a big stretch of land down to there. There was no land with the pub in Slieverue, and Donovan's and themselves bought a big stretch of land between them. And that's where the farming came in. They were farming. He was farming in Glenmore. His father was farming in Glenmore before they came to Slieverue. And like there were only two girls of the O'Mara's in it. That was my grandfather's mother, and the other sister then died, and that's the only two of them in it. And he came back to Slieverue then to take over there. They sold the one in Glenmore down in Carricloney in Glenmore. And they bought the place in Slieverue between them, and so the land, the pub now has gone back to the same as it was. Back in when did he come there? About 1800s, the late 1800s, about 1890 or something like that, or to be even. My father was born in 1897, so it would be a good while before that. Okay. So, that's. So.
And when you were born in the pub, like, what was it? A busy place at that stage?
Just the usual local pub. That's all. You had two pubs there side by side. You had Powers by the side of us. You had two pubs in Slieverue, my grandfather's place and Stapleton's.
And would you remember things like, you know, when the farmers are bringing the animals in towards the mart or the fair?
I went to the fairs in Waterford myself. Like up to the fairs in Waterford up to 1963 or 64 they started the mart on Ballybricken, and previous to that it was all fairs. So
what's your memory of that?
It's the usual to what you'd have the big crowds. May the 4th of May was the big fair day in Waterford. Yeah, and it was Ballybricken to be packed from end to end. But there were nothing up on Ballybricken that time, only the bull ring. And the bull ring was there to tie bulls in it. That's what it was called, the bull ring.
And did you bring cattle in?
I did, yes. Up to.
And what time would you set off it?
Well, we wasn't so bad because we'd be close here to it, but it was maybe 7 in the morning you'd be heading in there. But there are a lot of people from far away now. They used to come from maybe Tullahorn, Ballahale and Mullinavat and Kilmacow around there, from all around. And they'd be coming from maybe 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning walking cattle in, and there were no other way of bringing them, only walk them in. And the place, even the fair, the Glen, should be down as far as the Glen.
Would the drovers, would they stop off in your pub for a drink on the way?
Not on the way in. To be too early at that stage.
What on the way home?
On the way home, you had it all. It was like the song, yes. You'd wait for there was some, you waited on for the row then at the fair. Well, for the fair days, we used to have to bring the cattle then. If you sold cattle on the fair, you'd have to bring them to the station over in Sally Park and load them onto wagons there on the farm and then go back to get paid from.
And was that difficult getting them over onto the...
Not really. You know, you'd always have maybe 3 or 4 lads with you. But the buyers, like it only just, they had their agents there and to look after what cattle they were after buying, and they'd have them all marked and that kind of thing. They'd mark them with a scissors, with a marker, with an old dry marker, and bring them.
And in the pub, would it be a big card pub?
Oh, it was. Very much so. There were cards every night of the week played there for years and years, and even up to my time, I didn't take over the pub. So my mother ran the pub for years. My father worked in Clover Meads for years. He worked there for 29 years until he retired out of it.
And what section was he in?
He was in charge of the lard room, as they called it at that time. It was all the fat that was coming down, lard dripping and stuff. He had a staff of about, he had 3 or 4 women and about 3 or 4 fellas. And it was, he never finished until about maybe, it was the last job in the night time.
He must have had a strong constitution to work there.
So
tough job, I'd say.
It was, yeah. It was, all the jobs was tough at that time, like, you know, it was hard work.
And just, so your mother ran the pub.
Oh, she ran the pub.
And your father worked at
Clover Meads, yes.
Okay, and then did you also have to farm as well?
No, it was only the farm didn't come in. We had a split in the farm in the family farm in Slieverue in 1948, and like there were 2 uncles there on it, and one of them came here to Airmount. They had 2 farms. He didn't buy this farm in Airmount here. Wasn't they bought it in 1928 or sometime around that, 1928, I think. They bought that.
And when did you take over?
In 1949, I left school to
Who had been here before 28?
who was it, what do you call him, young man, the shipper.
Oh, yes,
Shortest.
Yes.
He was a big shipper. Yeah, probably he was well known. He lived on the manor in Waterford, but he had 3 farms here, Shortest. And he had this one, he had Kilmurray and Giles Key. He had only 1 son, and the son went a bit, he went a bit haywire as a young lad, and they sent him over to Canada. He had a brother in Canada, and when he was in Canada, he didn't develop any better. So he got into a row in a bear and he shot a fella. So they had to buy him off the gallows. He was supposed to be hanged, but he was bought off the gallows, and the son died in 1947 or 48, I think. But it broke. Your man shot us. He had no other family, and he sold the 3 farms then. So that was my grandfather then bought that in 1928. That happened to him.
And then with this farm here, what kind of farming did you do?
Mixed farming, like it was beef and dairy. That was basically what I did. So.
How many acres?
There were 100 acres in it in 1 square until the roads went through it.
Okay.
So they split it. They took 14 acres or something with the roadway, and they split off another 12. Then that's out of the way long.
And was that compulsory purchase then?
It would have been, yes. Yeah, well,
They
hadn't any back doors, only cell.
Okay.
You didn't.
There was a big house on this
There was
farm here. That's why the name of our house is
There was a massive big house on it, Fraser's Lodge. Fraser's Hall was it's actually on the ordnance maps, marked as Fraser's Hall. Now who the Frasers were, I have no idea.
Okay.
But when I came here, there were a crowd, a circus crowd, lads that used to. They used to do winter sport above in Slieverue, someplace in Malays in Slieverue, and they used to rent the place here off a shortest, I think, at the time for the winters. And they had, where they put up the circus and trained the animals, there were three big tracks in the front field there. I had to get a digger to level them, to go level where they were training the animals.
So did any wild animals get out?
I said it was only horses and stuff. It was circus with the name. Light Circus was supposed to be the name of it. I never saw him. I never tell him.
We can start the rumour. Okay, well, we're here anyway to talk about the GA.
Yeah.
So I know the two of you have been involved from a long time back.
Yeah.
Was there a GA club?
When I went to school, there were nothing in it. Absolutely no. You see, the last of the hurling, Jim will tell you about it in 1936, up to 1936. But I wouldn't remember them like it. That I'd be too young at the time. Mm-hmm. But in in the 1940s, when I was going to school, there were absolutely nothing in it. And we had the only thing we all huddled. We used to bring huddles to school, and there were a field belonged to Lizzie Walsh. They are across from the old school, where the old school is, and that's where we used to huddle in there. They gave us the field. We used to hop in over the ditch and huddle there. But the teachers in Slieverue at the time, they were Mr. Carey in it in my time, and he had no interest whatsoever in hurling. And we had two, Miss Denna and Mrs. Brennan. Well, you wouldn't expect them to be interested in it, hurling, women interested in hurling.
I believe Miss Denna was good with a stick.
She was all right. I never had any fault with her. I never had any fault with her. You know.
I want to give you the rumours now.
No, I wouldn't. Funny enough, like I went to school with nephews of hers inside the Dallas after. What was it? The two Manahans, Tony Manahan and they were lovely singers. I think he played in a band as well in there.
Very artistic family, music family.
They were, yeah.
Okay, and so there was no hurling club as such?
Yeah. What we used to do was, as young lads, we used to play, Ringfield had a crowd used to hurl over in Bransfield. And there used to be a crowd in there hurling. And we had a crowd in the mile post that used to hurl in Julie's Field, as we called it, across the road from the pub. Liam Wheeler and Ned Now, the Grace Wexford hurler, they lived in Balnamona. And as young lads, we played our hurling in the bog, as we call it, in the mile post. Eddie Power used to be out with us. Eddie, he trained the Wexford team years later. He was the teacher down in Peterson in Wexford.
And you just do challenge games?
Yeah, that's all. We didn't even have a jersey. I remember the first team, Johnny Hokey was the man that actually really kind of organised hurling. At that stage there was no organisation. And Johnny organised a team Johnny got entered the team as a club team, as a minor team in 1945. And they didn't have, I think they had 11 jerseys or something that they could resurrect from the old team in the 30s. And they played Dunkit, below a field down in Johnny Wood, top of the mile post hill there now, where Marty Dial, or where Billy Dial is living. And they played a match there against them as minors. But the first match I played with them was the year after, in 46. But then Dr. Hughes, after that match in the mile post, Dr. Hughes got on to organise a club, and they had a meeting and then for the Christmas of 45 or around spring of 46. I don't know, it could be before or after Christmas, but you had two clubs in Slieverue years ago, the Raheen Rovers and Slieverue. And they aired that night, I remember being at the meeting, and they aired that night to know what they were going to call the team. And Dr. Hughes was getting a bit fed up with it. Eventually they called it the Slieverue Rovers, and that was the first team they organised. That was the first club that was organised. They never had like in 45 they didn't have a club as such. All they did is enter the team and played. So, but in 46 then, we had the first minor match. I played my first minor match with them in 46. We played Clogger over in Dunkirk.
And did they keep that name on there?
They did for about, I'm not too sure how many years. They kept that Slieverue Rovers was there for about, I'd say about 5 or 6 years or maybe more. I don't know when they knocked off the Rovers off the team and just called it Slieverue.
Okay.
But like the Rovers end of it, the crowd that was in around the lower side, around Bellevue side, they were the Raheen Rovers. And but there were some of the Slieverue lads played with, there was Raheen Rovers, and there were a big division in them. But
And was there good players back in that time, like when you were there?
in my time, sure, you had well in the 30s, sure, you had Bobby Hinks and all them. They when the team broke up, when did they break up, Jim? In 36, was it? 36, I think they broke up.
They transferred, I was just checking on it, they transferred in 38 to Carrickshock.
Yeah.
They won the intermediate in
36.
And 37 they got an awful beaten by James Stevens.
Oh.
They had to go senior then, having won the intermediate.
Yeah.
And they met Stevens, and seemingly they weren't bad, but they were beaten by 30 points or something.
So they all went to...
And that kind of, I'd say, broke their hearts, you know, broke their spirit. And the better players then, Carrickshock were canvassing for... I noticed that Slieverue and Carrickshock often played challenges, so they knew one another.
Yeah.
And then the Carrickshock were developing a very strong team, and they
took the.
They
You had 5 or 6. You had Paddy Donovan. You had Bobby Hinks. So Bobby Hinks played with the county team. The builder, Tom Walsh, he played with the county team. Jimmy Cashin, but Jimmy got injured.
Tom
Wall of Ballavalla. And they all went to Carrick. That was 5 of them went to Carrickshock. But when Dr. Hughes formed the team, then they decided to come back. And they
were now beyond their best.
They were.
Some of them
but still, though, Bobby Hinks played. Like I played with Bobby Hinks and the builder. So the builder played up to the builder was even on the 54 team that we won when we won the county final in 54. So like there was a lot of there were a lot of good players in it.
And did the Slieverue colours, were they always the same?
They were more or less. They were always black and amber, but they weren't. They didn't have the original jersey. Now they're gone back to the original jersey. That
the sash.
Yeah, with the sash down the side of them. We had only. But I remember we going to when they went to go play that first match. The old jerseys, they had the old jersey with the sash on them, but 11 of them was all they could get. And I don't know. I didn't know, there were some of them around up to lately. I don't know where they went to. But that's the rest of them. There were no such thing as a jersey. But then they got jerseys in 36, and when they started.
And then when did it start getting reorganised, like as a club? Like,
in 46.
Straight away.
So they entered the team. So Johnny Hawkey was secretary, Mick Griffin was the treasurer, and who the chairman was? Who was the chairman?
Paddy Donovan, wasn't it?
Yes, I'm not too sure, Jim. I'm not too sure. That like I was only what?
Did they have a pitch at that stage?
No, we never had a pitch until 1960, until the present one down here. I never played. I played a few matches on that. Like I was finished hurling at when they opened that one. Like I was at the end of my tether anyhow, as the fellow says, I was either getting married and I had a lot of other things on my mind besides hurling. But
and so where would they play? Would they move around?
Oh, they like Barton's below in that was the first of our fields. Willie Barton gave us a field, and we had that now for a good few years. And then he changed the field. He wanted to plough the field, and so we had to leave that. And we came up to a field, our field here on the side of the Kill Road now, where the road is running through. And we used that for 2 years. And like I had to plough that then as well. Like so, they moved then from that to I think they moved down to where the houses are built below now under the church there. They were there for maybe 3 or 4 years as well. And when
Longer day.
were we? I don't know exactly how long we were down there, but then we moved up to a field up here up the road to Donovan's. That was the last field where Ona Donovan is living now. And so they bought that field in 58, was it, Jim? They bought the bog off Lizzie Welch in 58.
Yeah, 58 I'd say.
It was only a pure bog. There were 2 little fields in it there and a big stream running through the middle of it. And they had to drain it. They drained that under an agricultural scheme in her name, and put in stone drains in it and all that kind of stuff. And then they levelled it in 1959. They got in Hamilton's, is it? Hamilton's. They lived. Kehoe started it, but he didn't die.
Then he pulled out.
He pulled out of it, and then they Hamilton levelled it, and they opened that in 1960. So that was
So there's a lot of work involved.
Oh, an awful lot of work, but there are an awful lot of work. That was the original work, but there are an awful lot of work after been done since. There's a lovely field in it now. Tis a credit to the club now, like.
And then you said that they won the county championship.
We won a junior championship in 1950, and then we had to go senior. And in 1951, we met Carrickshock in the first round of the championship, played inside in the sports field in Waterford. And Carrickshock beat us by a pint and went on and won the county championship. And then 52, we met Bennettsbridge in the first round of the championship. And they beat us by 2 or 3 pints and they went on and won the county championship. In 53, we met Bennettsbridge in the county final, in the senior county final, and they beat us by a pint. And in 54 then we beat Tullerone in the county final.
And where was that match on, the final?
So it was all them players who were playing in Nolan Park, county finals played in Nolan Park that time.
So it was great celebrations, I'd say.
Oh, they were, it was.
But I suppose you knew from the few years before that your time was coming, did you?
Oh, we had a great minor team in 47. And the most of them went on to play the senior as the senior team, but we went to a southern final in 47 and we lost by a couple of points. But after
who was the manager? Who brought you through all that? Who was it?
Nobody in particular. As managers, there were no such thing as managers in our time. You had a club, there were no such thing as a trainer. Yeah, you went to the field every night of the week. There was no such thing as a special trainer coming down to. You poked the ball around for a couple of hours every night, from Monday to Friday, and Sunday. They tried to. Paddy Buggy, Johnny Hawkey was the secretary, and Paddy Buggy was the assistant secretary. Now Paddy worked as a clerk inside the press office in Waterford, and he was the only one that had a phone at the time and could make arrangements. So there were no such thing as phones around at that time, though. Mobiles were a long way away then. So.
But we say within the team, was there anybody that was very inspirational? Was there a captain that you kind of?
Oh, at the time you had Paddy Buggy. Paddy Buggy was in what got onto the senior team in 49. He played senior for Kilkenny in 49, but the Bill Welsh was an he was an inter-county player. He played for Kilkenny in the 40s, and he was an inspirational player as well. Johnny Hawkey was. We had on the 1950 junior team. We played. We had 5. We had Johnny Hawkey, John Barron, myself, Jimmy Doherty. What's the Larry Dillon? There were 5 or 6 of the Slieverue players played junior in 1951. We won the junior All-Ireland in 51 in the county junior team in 51. I played for Kilkenny and there were 5 or 6 that played on that junior team.
What position did you play?
I played on goal the most of my hurling was done on goal for the club until 1954. When the parish rule came in 1953 up to 53, I played for the Kilkenny junior team and the senior team on goal up to 1952 or 53. And I played. I used to play for the Kilkenny senior team when Rémy Dowling wasn't available, and I was kind of a half sub goalkeeper. They sent me out when he wasn't available, but he was. They never carried a sub goalkeeper.
And you had to be tough to be a keeper.
Tough. I don't know was it tough or foolish. I don't know which.
A bit mad.
A bit mad. I don't know how many times. We played Dublin in the Leinster final above, and there were a high ball coming in. I could see this fella coming from about 20 yards out. He was running in, and I only barely batted down the ball and out through the back of the net. He threw me straight out through it. You had nothing to only stand and wait for. You couldn't do a thing.
Like
Either that or lay the ball in, either one or the other. But out through the back of the net he threw me. Above Coke Park in the Leinster final. But other than that, but in 54 then, like we lost so many players in 50, when the parish rule came in 54, we lost all the Glenmore players. And John Barney, Kilmacow, so we were kind of scarce. So I was brought out to play at centre field then for the club.
And just to explain the parish rule, so if you were from one parish, you had to stay playing that way.
Yeah, that still exists today.
Okay.
Up to.
But before that year,
Yeah, you could. We had John Byrne from Kilmacow, and we had Jimmy Doherty and Jimmy Whalen and Johnny Cash, Johnny Whalen. We had 4 from Glenmore that time playing with us.
and how did that work? Was that because I presume, like for example, Glenmore would have their own team?
They had, yes.
So
But
why would a fella play for?
they were, well, Davistown is only up the road from us, in Coolnaleen.
It's kind of on the border.
They would probably have come to school here.
The most of them, they'd have, in Coolnaleen and Davistown, they went to Big Wood School, like, which would be kind of in and out between. And
Probably didn't have a field over
but Kilmacow didn't have a team, I don't think, at that time. John Barron played with us at that time, and he was a great hurler. We lost him in 1953. We'd have won a county final left. He got knocked out in the first 10 minutes of the match in the 53 final, and he lost his eye. And very little compensation for it. You know, so.
Why get hit by
No, yeah. Oh, he was taken out.
Oh.
He was the best forward we had at the time.
Oh, I mean, I know we were laughing a few minutes ago about how tough the game was, right?
Yeah.
But was it that kind of, like, the fellas going out to do fellas like?
Oh, they did.
Okay.
At times, yes.
I suppose when they got very competitive.
Yes, when, you had what they called butchers, as we called them. They do not only hock. Hurling was only part of the game. But at the inter-county level, it wasn't. At club level, it was very prevalent, but at inter-county level, not as much. You meet tough hurlers and that, like, you know. But there wouldn't be. There wouldn't be.
And do you know all the hoo-ha in recent years about referees not being listened to and all that kind of stuff? I mean, what was it like back then for referees?
Well, the referees in my time anyhow, they left a lot of stuff go that, you know, wouldn't be tolerated at the present time.
Okay.
You know, but I don't know. It's a thankless job, a referee. You know, like, it's awful hard to referee, especially hurling matches. They're so fast and at times furious. But,
it's a long distance from one end to the other.
Well,
for a referee.
Yeah, well, some of the referees are standing in the middle of the field that time and referee it from there. they might run 10 years either way. But it was a great time. Like, people lived for hurling, like we lived for hurling.
But I think you also said that you played football.
I did, yes. Well, you see, when I went to school to De La Salle, so for 5 years, it was all football inside it, mostly football.
That's because it was all Cork and Kerry fellas, wasn't it?
Well, no, when I went to they didn't open the college until the year after a while. I left in 49, and they didn't open it until 1950.
What, the boarding school?
The boarding school. The big college was closed. Where we went to school, we used the big college the most of the time for science classes and art and all that kind of stuff. But there were because the other side of the road was where I went to school. It was just a big house, and so, it was actually the public dump for Waterford. They were an old mash down at the end of that, and all the trash was there. And in the latter end of it, the last year I was in it, they finished, and they went out to Kilmarry to go fill it.
So down, but where the river is, near the river.
Yeah, they actually had a couple of boats on the river down there. And they had Fate Lake. They owned at Fate Lake House, you see, as well. And we used to go down there now and again to play matches and down to Fate Lake to go down on the boats. They had two motorboats, and they had a slip there at the end, a slip down. John Nolan's, the builders, were at the other side, and they had a slip down as well at the other side.
So they were into playing Gaelic football more than hurling.
Yes, yeah, it was mostly football was into it. But there was a teacher came there and was Sean McCarthy. He huddled for Cork, and I'd say in the early 30s. So he's a lovely man. He was a maths teacher, and he started up the hurling in it. But previous to that was mostly football that was playing it. We used to go down to play the Augustinian College in Dungarvan down there on a regular basis, and they come up and play us football, and that was it.
And you had no football in County Kenny.
They had funny enough, they had a good foot. They had some great footballers in it. They had some great footballers, but they had no interest at county board level.
Okay.
That's where it was all wrong. I played football with the county team for 2 years. And I was playing with the hurling team at the same time, and you go up, you'd see your name on the paper that you're selected to go play, and so we met you. But we were going up to play Portlaoise Lees above in Portlaoise one Sunday. I waited for an hour and a half, waiting for someone. Didn't even know who was going to come and collect me to bring me up there. And that's I had my breakfast at 7 o'clock that morning. And had nothing then. I went up there, got nothing for a thing. Went up to play Laois. We met Laois the same Sunday above in it, and brought us into a little. You couldn't regard it as a fish and chip shop. A little caboose of a place with sandwiches and a sandwich and a tea. With a photograph of the mate on it. So that's basically so. That was the interest that they had at county level, and that's where it all went wrong. There were plenty of good footballers. In my time, there was a fellow named Sean Brennan, playing for Railyard. Now I played football with Glenmore. You couldn't get enough of them here in Slieverue, so I played football with Glenmore for 4 years. We won 2 county championships with Glenmore, but Railyard was the real football team in Kilkenny at that time.
Where was Railyard?
The Castlecomer, outside to be in the parish Castlecomer. I don't know, is Railyard the parish, I don't know which, but he played with Railyard, and he left Castlecomer and went to go walk above in Kildare and Newbridge, and he got on the Kildare team and he got on the Leinster team, a Kilkenny man. And so you're the present. This Connolly fella that's playing with Dublin at the present time. Diarmuid Connolly. His grandfather. No, his great grandfather.
His father was from Clara.
His father was from Clara, but his grandfather was from Glenmore, from Rochester and Glenmore. And so the Hefferdens that played, the Hefferdens Army. You remember that played with Dublin. They were from Glenmore as well. His parents was from Glenmore, and the Holdens. You had the Holdens with Glenmore people. They were Mullinavat people, the Holdens.
Do you think Kilkenny will ever go and play
Football? If you got somebody with a bit of interest at the county level, it's going to be hard now. They're after having so much success especially over the last 15 years. They're after having so much success at hurling that nearly everybody is mad into hurling. Yeah. They all want to be part of the success. Yeah. Success is what breeds success.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
And with the hurling, I mean, Jim, you probably come in on this. With the hurling, don't they often say that the best hurling counties in Ireland were at one time cricket counties, but during the time of the British?
Yeah.
I don't know, have you ever heard that story?
Well, I don't know what about the best, that as an overall statement, but certainly cricket was awfully popular in this part of the world, and in what you would, I suppose, call the hurling counties. In Kilkenny, I haven't really studied it now, but I know there was cricket teams all over the place, up to relatively recently. Gordon had a cricket team, I'd say, up into certainly the 1940s. There was a cricket team down here in
Ferrybank.
Ferrybank,
Yes.
down where the factory is now, down around there.
Yeah.
The cricket team in Kilmacow. Oh yeah, cricket was very popular.
I suppose
Now, whether there was a connection or
with the big
not,
houses and all that kind of stuff.
I couldn't say.
And Jim, when did you get involved with the hurling club here locally?
Oh, when shortly after I arrived here, I'd say the year after, maybe 58. Yeah,
And had you been involved in hurling in the road?
I was, yes.
Okay.
I was, yeah.
And had they a more established club up there at that stage?
No, junior club.
Okay.
Junior club. And struggling. Now, we got to Southern final with the Roar in, I don't know what to say, 52 or 3. And that was as good as I got until later on. Yeah,
And did you get involved on the committee level here?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
I did, yeah. Yeah.
And like, what was the?
Oh, the structure was good then. You know, the structure was, it was only a few years after they won the county, they won the county in 54, and they were in the county final again in 57. So, you know, it was on a high when I came here.
Yeah, well, we had a great team at that time.
Yeah, good team,
You know,
yeah.
we had a very good team at that time.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you say you had a good team, is that by luck, or is that?
I know, it's people that were interested in hurling, like they put the effort in. And that's what makes a player. You know,
It goes in cycles, really.
Yeah.
You'll get a good crop
Yeah.
of players, and if you're lucky enough to get them motivated and so on,
Yeah.
you'll have success. And then the people following on a few years afterwards may not be as good, and I find it goes in waves.
Well, you see, the fact that there were 3 of us playing with the county team at the time, so
Yeah, that would.
that you know, it motivates the rest of them to try and get there.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, there was Paddy Buggy, myself, and Mikey Walsh was playing on the county team at the time, so like that made
Everybody was aspiring to that then.
yeah, everyone like it was a boost to that thing. I think they have ruined it somehow or another by in our time we weren't stopped from playing club hurling, and like we could play a county match. You know, any day, but you could play a club match maybe the week beforehand. Now they're stopped from playing club hurling when it goes to county teams. When you get on a county team now, you can't play club hurling for maybe a fortnight.
You're too precious.
Well, that's the way they're looking at it. They must be fragile. Not precious.
And do you enjoy hurling as much now, like to look at?
Not the present day. I think there's a lot to be said too much from what's in it at the present time. But I think, as I said before, when they made the ball too light, I think it travels too far. You take puck outs in our time, to drop, you had a lot of centre field hurling. All the balls drop at centre field. If a fella scored the ball, a puck from 65s, 70s years ago, which was the old thing, it's like you'd be on the linear of life doing it. But nowadays they're pucking the ball 110 metres. You know, it's just ridiculous. It's like a sponge ball. But it's more intelligent hurling than what we played. You know, like years ago, poor father Tommy Mayer used to be lecturing when he was training. He would lecture to them all when they get possession of the ball to look where they're hitting it, and not to be dropping it. He said often there'd be snow on the ball coming down. You know, it's just poking the ball out of the backs into forwards. It's ridiculous to be playing that kind of thing. Now it's more intelligent. They pick the ball, they look, and they're playing more intelligent hurling. But and it's a lot faster altogether, I suppose. But they're a lot fitter then. They're doing a lot more training than what we did. But I think we were every bit as fit, like for the game we played.
Yeah,
Nowadays, if they play one match, I don't know, they can't play a second one. I remember playing 3 matches the one day. I played a 7-a-side match up here, and we had a 7-a-side league on in the parish, and we were playing Cork above in the Rockett match above in Kilkenny, and we had a club match, then a tournament match over in Kilmacow that night. And came back and played that, and dance for the night then, and then get up the next morning and go work. And it wouldn't affect you one bit. You'd be in the hurling field the next night, just the same as any, but there were no such thing as organised going to. Nowadays they won't go to a hurling field unless they have an organised trainer going, and all this, which is, like, we went out and hurled. Every time we got a chance, if we got 2 or 3 fellas together, we were out hurling, that's it, poking the ball around. And often below, when I lived in the Mile Post, we'd be out on the street poking the ball against the wall. When no one else wanted somebody else, I broke more windows around the place.
But what about all the tactics and all that of the game now? I know you say it's more intelligent.
Yeah.
But I mean, even things like, the other way, even we say in more recent times, teams are not necessarily playing conventionally. Like they might.
Yes.
There's a lot of strange stuff going on.
Yes.
What do you think of that?
I think it was ridiculous. I think Brian Cody doesn't play that type of game. Like he plays his 15 players where I know they do a lot of running. The forwards come back a good bit now to play, but they still try and hold a forward line there. But the rest of the teams they're playing maybe 12 men behind the ball, and then there's nobody up when they pick the ball up. There's nobody up there, just coming back down just as quick as it went up. So I think that's foolish kind of tactics. It stops them from scoring. Like
the recent Tipperary. Who we tipped recently?
Cork beat.
Cork. The recently Tipperary Cork match was a great match.
Yes, because
we had none of that.
You hadn't any of that.
And it was very fast. It was very open.
Yeah.
I thought it was a terrific match.
Yeah. But there are too many of those teams. Clare started that. Davy Fitz started all that kind of play and bringing back players and in behind the ball, and then trying to rush up the field and hoping that they'd be able to, have a big man up in the forward line that's trying to win a ball against
2 or 3 backs.
3 or backs. One man trying to beat 2 or 3 backs, which it doesn't make sense to me anyhow. But other than that, it was.
And I suppose we have to kind of acknowledge how great Kilkenny have been in recent years.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had a great crop.
Well, this is.
But also a great manager.
They had a great crop. They had a great
manager. A manager to me doesn't make the team. The players make the team, and it'll be interesting to be like. I remember that Liam Sheedy was questioned about on television one night, and he says, I sent him up to Westmeath and see what he do with the Westmeath team. And Nico the way I was like he did improve things, but he never won anything as greatness. When he was manager with Kerry, he won all around him. He won 8 All-Irelands with Kerry, and yet when he went to the best he got was a Leinster final with Kildare. So after that, he went to Wicklow and he went to Laois. Where do you go from there? So to me, the manager, he's part of the setup. But like you say, if he's able to pick his players and place them, which is what But if you haven't the players,
I think there's another aspect of management that Cody must be good at. Management in the sense that fellas get ideas about themselves,
oh yes,
or they have problems at home, or they have problems at work, and they bring that
so,
with them, everywhere in their life. And Cody seems to be able to relate to them, and I don't know,
well, he
advise them or something. He
don't-
does this on a one-to-one, and I think in that respect he's a good manager, because to handle all those fellas, all of whom think Cody's motto is, like Kenny have had numerous hundreds of all-stars. Cody says there's no all-stars in our dressing room. There's no all-stars, we're all the same. And he that's his motto all the time. And it seems to be working,
well, he's a great manager, rather,
Yes,
than rather than a team manager.
Yes, I'd say so, yeah.
He'd
I'd say so.
But it'd be hard man to fill. Be hard to fill his shoes though after those.
So it'll be hard to get a crop of players of the same quality. You had so many great players. When you the present team, you're after losing Michael Kavanagh and J.J. Delaney and Tyrrell in the full back line. How do you replace a whole full back line? And then you had Shefflin and Michael Fennelly will be back, but how good is he going to be now? He's minding himself now because he's always suffering from injuries. But how good is he going to be? So,
And
it doesn't.
bring it back to Slieverue. I mean, is there young lads? I mean, how are things going here as regards underage and all that kind of stuff?
You haven't asked me either.
Tis relatively okay.
Yeah.
We have a couple of good teams, and you'll never have, like, we have teams now from under 8 up along. I'd say you'd never have a good team at all ages. There will be a couple of places where you're very weak, as we have now, and we have a couple of places which are relatively strong, but not. We were much better 5 years ago. We had a better crop in the teenage years. The teenagers now are, our teenagers are not as good as that crop. But it goes in cycles. We have a couple of good teams now down under 10, 11, and they'll probably develop and become good teenage players and maybe good adult players.
And are young people still as interested in hurling as they would have been, say, 20, 30 years ago?
I don't know. I'd say they are when they're hurling, but there are so many things they can be doing now.
Just like
I remember 6 or 8 years ago, a team we had, and on a Saturday we wanted to play a match, and it was incredible the number of people who wouldn't be available or wanted to do something else, from playing soccer. They had a soccer match. They wanted to go horse riding. That was another one. Swimming. I think there were 5 or 6 sports or activities they wish to be involved in on the one day, and the parents are running off their feet, driving them here and there. Whereas in Dick's time, you went to the hurling field, or you stayed at home. There was nothing else.
There's no choice.
Well, you might pitch and toss at the corner, maybe.
They
If you
weren't
fell
even,
by the wayside.
they weren't even that much of that in my time. They pitch and toss. I don't know. Just,
So it's a whole new ball game.
I think in the 80s you had a great team. Like you had
That was a very good team, yeah.
Yeah, you had, but then what 3 or 4 of them went to Australia.
Actually, this is
And
yeah.
that's
We won another 21, and then
yeah.
we thought like everything was great.
Gosh,
And
it was great.
next thing, it was good too.
It was great. It was a great team.
A few of them then scattered, and
Yeah.
That
And I'd say that was the same all over the country.
actually it was.
Yeah.
A lot of teams lost players as
Oh
well
Lord, yes, it was, yeah.
at one time. Like.
yeah. Well, you can't afford in the club team. Like you're only half a parish here. Like it's a small parish when you look at it.
Well, that was something I omitted. I wanted to emphasise there in my contribution earlier.
What? Say it.
Well, you know, I go back a long, long way and say that Slieverue parish was from Waterford Bridge to Shanbo one time.
Yeah.
In the 1600s, they had a scarcity of priests, so they amalgamated parishes, and this parish was the parish of Ida, they called it, and it went from Ferrybank or from the bridge to Shanbo. And then in 1864, Glenmore became a parish in its own right, so that left Slieverue and Glenmore. And then in 1970, Ferrybank became a parish in its own right, and that left Slieverue very reduced. And then, recently, there was an effort to take away a third of the parish again.
Well, when...
And that was, after all those experiences, nobody remembered all of them, but it's a historical fact, all of those things happened. This is why people felt so aggrieved that there was another scalp of the parish going to be taken away.
Yeah, but was that, say the earlier stuff, right? Was that diocesan?
Oh, it was.
Oh, well, it was county, the bridge was the county boundary.
No, but I'm talking about, was it religious?
Well, yeah,
Originally the parish was from, as you say, from the bridge,
yes.
right out to Glenmore,
Yeah.
including Glenmore.
Yeah.
And then the ossuary, diocesan.
Yeah, oh, it was a diocesan movement, yeah. Oh, yeah, it was, yeah.
But Ferrybank played in, as a team, played in the County Kilkenny. Even when the boundary was shifted out, it was still part of. Although they shifted out the boundary when about 1928 or 1929.
Yeah, there's a couple of movements.
It was around that earlier. That I can't go back that far, but when I was going to school, the boundary was on the top of Ferrybank. But previous to that, the Ferrybank club played in County Kilkenny, and they were bringing players from across the bridge, from the city, to play with Ferrybank, and the county board got annoyed with them. There were so many objections and so many things. So eventually, Tom Pinkett, who was the man that he was the secretary of the Ferrybank GA at the time. You had two teams. You had Ferrybank and Slieverue in the parish of Slieverue, and he moved it then to transfer to Waterford. And the county board left them off, and they shouldn't have. That was done around 1932 or 3, I'd say. Was it? I'm not too sure.
But I mean, I'm not going to get involved in the politics of Waterford and Kilkenny, right? But just to say, the GA is actually a recent organisation. If you look from a history point of view, it's very recent. Like it's only
84.
84, right?
Yeah.
So it's only 130 years, it is 140 years. But it's amazing how strong it is, like in the sense of what they achieved. You know what I mean? In relation to like to put a system in place. It's an amazing achievement because I mean, what was there before the GA? I mean, how did that work? I mean,
well, there were clubs there before it, you know, as such. But there were no such things. There were only. It was like when we were playing as young lads in the parish here. There were no club in the parish, but we played Ringville, and Balnamona played Mile Post and that kind
challenge matches.
All challenge matches, and that's all went on at county level, at club level. You had a club here and a club there. You had clubs in Tullaroan and Tilmyval and you know places like that way back years and years ago. Before, and it was only when Davin and them tried to organise the whole lot together. They played. So what was that song about your man down in the County Cork? What's the other song about? 100 years. I only think of. I can't think of it now. But John Sutton used to be always singing it. That song wasn't sitting in there.
It was not rolled your head at all. I mean, it is an amazing achievement, isn't it?
Oh, it is,
As an organisation.
But it is all done on public work.
Yeah, it's all voluntary.
Voluntary work. You know, so it's basically a voluntary organisation, but it has nearly gone a little bit too far now. Do you know, when we played, the clubs, the players now are better looked after. We didn't even get when we played in the All-Ireland in 57, we didn't even get all that we got was a set of togs and a set of jerseys. Now they have suits, they're dressed up to the knockers, and we didn't even get the jersey when we were finished playing.
They took them back.
Oh,
Yes.
That was the case up to 1970s.
Yeah.
Paddy Grace went around collecting the jerseys.
Yes.
If one was missing, there'd be an
There'd be an
inquiry.
uproar. Yes. That's as much as we got out of it. But sure, the only thing we got out of it when I was playing, we got a trip to America out of it, like so that was in '58.
Big thing.
That was a big thing at that time.
Did you get to America?
I did, yes.
What was that like?
No, it was. See, I had an uncle in America, and I stayed. There was 7 or 8 or 5 or 6 of us that stayed back, and we all came back. Oh, we stayed back. We stayed there for a fortnight after the team coming home. The team was only paid for a fortnight out there, and anyone had relations out there then. Like, I stayed with an uncle of mine there for a fortnight after, and we all came home then together. We all organised to come home together.
That was in New York.
In New York, yeah.
And what was that? What was New York like at that time?
Sure, it was like when I looked at Kennedy, or when GF Kennedy, now it was Idlewild when I went out in it. And there were no such thing as GF Kennedy, but it was only, I'd say Shannon Airport now would be something similar to what GFK was at that time. Mm-hmm. You know, you got off your plane out in the tarmac and you walked in and that.
And you played a challenge match, wasn't
We
it?
played two matches out there. We played one in the Polo Grounds and we played one in Gaelic Park. And the Louth team was with us. Who was on the Louth team won the All-Ireland that year. And Dermot O'Brien was with us on that.
Musician,
The music, he was a lovely musician. He played, with the crowd of us went down to a dance down in Atlantic Ballroom in New York, and he played the accordion there, and he went up and played the accordion to something else. But,
I presume there'd be lots of Irish there at what matches.
At that time, sure, the place would be packed. The only thing is, it was a kind of a commercial thing. What do you call it? They had a big bar on the Polo Grounds, and they also had one in Gaelic Park. But when half time came, the half time lasted for about half an hour, and from half an hour to 3/4 to give them plenty of time to drink and get back out. But
Maybe they should introduce that here now.
Cody's have a heart attack.
Big session to have.
it was a wonderful time out there.
And what did you do for the 2 weeks then? What did you do?
I was there. Uncle was there. He worked as a prison officer in Buckland Jail. That's what he brought me down there to see what were all around the place for.
Did you see the jail?
I did, yeah. Down, he brought me down there. So all the stuff that they gathered and taken off of fellas that time in Buckland Jail.
Even then.
Even then, they had noise, and it was mostly noise and knuckle dusters and all that kind of stuff. They also had guns and stuff that they collected off and put it into this big store where they kept all the stuff.
And what part of New York did your uncle live?
He lived out in Bayside, out in Flushing. He lived in.
Okay.
Not far from where they were living now.
And was it was New York at that stage, was it kind of rough and ready, or was it?
No, it wasn't. It was rough, I suppose, rough enough. Like it was. I don't know what to.
Would you feel safe walking around?
You would in the daytime. I remember we went up the evening we played above in Gaelic Park. This is up at the top of New York, and you get on. We went up there on a bus. Billy the Wire got into a bit of a shemozzle with some of the New York lads up at the thing, and I should believe when he had a few drinks in him, you couldn't handle him. But I remember when we got on the bus, there were no sign of the Wire. And, like, I used to get on well with the Wire because he played full forward, I was playing beside him. But they sent me in to go see could I get any good of him. And so I got him out after about a quarter of an hour, 20 minutes, and got him in on the bus. And next thing some of the boys said, "Oh, why the Wire so-and-so put manners on you?" He knocked me back on my ass and back into the Gaelic part to try and get at this. So I gave a half an hour trying to come out. The bus was gone. They left us there. We had to get on the subway at 3 o'clock in the morning to get down to get back into Manhattan. But I remember getting in on this train. I'll never forget it because the boy had the hurley in his hand and I had nothing. All my gear was on the bus. And when we got in on the subways, there was nobody on this train. Only a couple of bums and they sleeping on it. And the way I got in, the first thing he done up with the hurley, there was a fellow lying across the seat, straight across that seat. And his touch was done. Oh jeez, I died 1,000 times. So he cleared the train like that. There were nobody, and there were only two or three of those on there, so jeez, I thought I'd never see Manhattan again. Back to the hotel.
It was a great adventure though, wasn't it?
It was, yes, it was something else.
At that time.
It was that time.
Because most fellas wouldn't get out, even out of the parish even.
Yeah.
And to get to New York was fantastic.
I'd travel to the. I suppose I played in most of the pitches around the country. Like I played Belfast a couple of times, and I played with the Leinster team above in Belfast, 1956. Yeah, and it snowed February morning. It snowed that morning. We stayed in Dublin the night before. Then go up on the train to Belfast in '56. And at that time, you had all this, that Sean South thing, and all that trouble was after starting up in that above in the north. And above in Newry, when we crossed the border, the soldiers got in on the train and searched the whole place up. And there were about a dozen of them got in on the train to go check it out.
You'd be suspect.
You'd be suspect.
Well, I suppose the GA wouldn't be seen as
to be attended to them like
the
up
enemy.
there. Oh, the enemy up there, yes. Oh, you minded your P's and Q's when you got to Belfast. You didn't step out of line up there, so you got in. But the only thing, we weren't long in it. Funny enough, that morning, it snowed that night and there were talks of putting off the match. But when we got to Belfast, they said they'd play the match anyhow. They were after clearing the snow. There were still patches of snow on the pitch above in Belfast. And so the ball used to get lost in some of it. But at that time, it was only Antrim was the only team that was there. That's all they had above there, and they hadn't a whole lot. And it was only a matter of form of going up and playing them.
And was it always football up the north, apart from Antrim?
Because yeah, mostly they weren't hurling, and Antrim was the only county that had a senior team, and sure they didn't. They beat Kilkenny. Played 1944, was it?
43.
43, yeah, 43.
Never to be forgotten.
Never to be forgotten. And now one of our players, the builder, was playing on that match, Tom Walsh. I don't know.
Did you ever know Walsh's pub in Ballybricken?
Yeah.
Well, Jim Walsh was my uncle.
Oh.
And he was a blind Kilkenny man. And that night, Kilkenny had lost the match in Belfast, and when there was a good crowd there, about 10 o'clock or whatever, some fella shouted from the middle of the pub, "Lads, any account of the match in Belfast?" To rile my uncle. He cleared the pub. "Get out," he said, a crowd of pups. And he cleared the pub. And that was the end of that. He wasn't concerned about doing his business that night.
I know we've a few Kilkenny people in Waterford now. We've a few people now that would never ever, both support Kilkenny, like and their sons even. Even though
That's
they're
extraordinary, yeah.
Even though they're born in Waterford.
It's extraordinary, yeah.
They would see themselves
Yeah,
as Kilkenny.
yeah.
It's amazing.
But the team that they had in '57, what do you call him? Martin O'Malley's father was from Tulla. John Byrne's father was from Tulla.
You're not going to claim the Waterford.
No, the funny thing, John Byrne went to school with me, and I played on him in the All-Ireland.
Yeah.
John Byrne was two classes behind me going to school, and then De La Salle. And they're a hell of a nice fella, John. Sure, he's dead since. But John was
Well, Delisle was always a very interesting, especially when they had the borders.
Yeah, well,
Because I mean, it was always like Cork and Kerry.
yeah, they had everything there then at that time. Well, I played with them in a Coleland Cup. They didn't have a senior team. Well, I played with him in the Coleland Cup, and I was overage for playing in the Coleland Cup with him. And I played the whole year with him until we met me on sign. They met me on sign in the final. And so I couldn't play against them. They all knew me. They knew that I was well overage for.
And just before we finish, could we just maybe mention, because I know it's kind of interesting, and just from a point of view of, again, if people are looking at this film, we say in 100 years' time, just talk about the ban. Because that was kind of an interesting historical thing, wasn't it, in the sense that...
It was a stupid thing now
I know,
to make the best of
it's
it.
really interesting, the fact that it existed.
Oh,
Well, at the same time now, the origins of it, I could understand the origins of it. You know, the fact that at that time, every effort was made by the British authorities in the early years of the GA to
suppress it.
to suppress it. Every effort was made, and it was understandable that they would bring in some rule or regulation to rule out certain activities. But it persisted for too long, that's all.
The operation of it anyhow was ridiculous. In my time anyhow, they suspended Tom Chasty, inside in Waterford for going to a dance. Now that wasn't, that to me, just because it was a soccer club sponsored the dance. Now we went to dances down through the years, and you didn't bother your Bernie to know how. You looked to see what band was playing and who was, or where it was, or what. But gee, to go suspend a fella for going to a dance was ridiculous. But I remember in Kilkenny, the like of Langton and Jack Mulcahy, they used to play soccer above in Kilkenny on the quiet. And the only way they could stop them from going to the soccer matches, they made them, fellas that checking on those people. There were certain fellas appointed to go to matches to see who was going to the matches. Such baloney. In my time it was terrible. But to bring it to a conclusion, to go suspend them from going to a dance, that took the biscuit altogether. So.
And now I suppose young lads play all sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sure, you play all whatever you think. And sport is the lifeblood of the youth anyhow. So I think that'd be the mainstay of it. They play sport. Better have them playing sport than having them standing on the corners and doing devilment and Blackgarden.
Well, listen, guys, thanks very much. That was really interesting to get a small insight into the early days of Slieverue, GA, and so thanks a million.
You're welcome.
Okay,
It was great. Thank you.